Hi, thanks for stopping by. I'm Yvonne from Pre Designs. This is day 3 of my 12 days of Craftmas leading up to Christmas. This little box, a little cracker, I've designed to fit 2 Ferrero Rochers in there. You could have this as your table place cards or setting, or put a little to or from Merry Christmas tag on it, and you could give it as a nice, quick and easy gift. So very quick and easy to make. I've made up the measurements, as I said, just specifically to fit 2 of the Ferrero Rocher chocolates in them. Now I've just got a A5 sheet of cardstock, which is 21 centimetres by 14.8 centimetres. I'm putting that into my trimmer in landscape orientation, and I'm going to score it at 3.5 centimetres, at 7 centimetres, at 10.5 centimetres, and then at 14 centimetres. That gives me 4 even panels of 3.5 centimetres. Then I'm just going to take it up to the end of the trimmer and cut the end off. And I could use that for a tag or something else. Then turning the cardstock around, and I want to score at 3 centimetres on each end of the cardstock. So that's on the right hand end and now on the left hand edge. Okay, so now I want to fold and burnish all of my score lines, and burnish them. Burnishing just gives a really nice strong fold, and then the little tab, and then also those 3 centimetre score lines at each end. Now for those, I actually want to burnish them both ways. So forwards, flip it over, and do it the other way. And burnishing just breaks the fibres of the cardstock. Now I want to apply glue to the little 1 centimetre tab, and then glue the edge down. So I'm using my multi-purpose liquid glue. You don't want to over glue, doesn't want to come out. I think this one's nearing the end. Might get another one. Should have checked that before I started the video. There we go. So not over gluing, but just got a nice amount there. And if you do this flat on the table, then you'll end up with a nice square little box. Again, I'm just burnishing that glue down, and I'm going to fold it to make sure it is nice and square. You could just see there that that wasn't quite square. It did flip, and it's just adjusted. And then again, pushing it down and burnishing those folds to make sure that I have a nice square box. Then to make the little cuts so that the bonbon or cracker will actually close up at the ends, I'm using a 1-inch circle punch. Now this is a Stampin' Up! One, it is retired, but whatever you've got, just to make a little nick out of both layers of the cardstock. So the 1 inch, if you've got a 3/4 inch, you could use that. Have a little play before you use your cardstock. Make one of these up with paper, a bit of scrap paper, and then you'll know exactly what's going to work for you from what you've got in your craft supply. Now I'm taking the punch. I've got the 3 centimetre score line about halfway through the punch. I can just see it there. And I've also got the punch almost to the other score line, which is the other end of the panel. So now I'm just going to punch that through, and I'm going to do each end. Again, I've got the punch almost up to the score line, and you can see the 3 centimetre score line in there. Punch it out, turn it around and do exactly the same for the other ends. Now that's got the tab on there, that's where I've glued it, so that's a little bit harder to punch out. Okay, that's those ones. Then turn it through, because I need to do this side, this bits as well, these sides. So I'm just taking it almost all the way up to the score line. This score line is in the middle, punching it through, do the same thing again, punching it through, turn it around. And what I'm trying not to do is to go too close to there, because we actually need that to be intact to tie the ribbon around. And that's why, if you're unsure, make it out of a piece of scrap paper first. Just play with the measurements. All right, so that gives me, it's like Swiss cheese, all my little holes. Now these folds, I'm just going to fold again, just to make them nice and easy. And that is essentially the cracker. Now I want to make a little belly band. So I've got a 5.5 centimeter width piece of cardstock by 15 centimeters. Now you could score this, but actually the best way to do it is just to gently fold around the existing box. So putting it on the table, put a little bit of glue. I'm going to get rid of that one because that's hardly got any left, so that it adheres. Fold this one up. I'm burnishing each of those score lines, or sorry, fold lines. Oops. A little bit of glue on this end. And glue that to match. Okay, then I want to fold this in half so that I make these folds nice and firm as well. And I'm pushing really hard on the bone scorer, and I'm just going through that where I put that glue to burnish the glue into the cardstock. So that's the easiest way to get an accurate belly band. Then I want to finish it off with a little piece of Designer Series paper. This is our Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper, and I'm going to do exactly the same process as what I've just done with the cardstock, flipping it around, burnishing it. And you'll notice that I don't start on the edge, I actually start a little way down the panel. That's just so that it glues really nicely. If you did it right on the edge, it might unglue, and it would be easier, harder to make it work nicely. Fold that across, just holding it for a second to make sure the glue adheres. And then again, I'm burnishing each of those fold lines. Fold the box in half again and burnish those folds so that it all finishes nicely. So that again is essentially your box. Now we want to just tease these little folds inwards, because that's what will make our little seal. I've got 25 centimeters of our, sticking to my fingers, our crinkle seam binding ribbon. As I mentioned on day 1 or day 2, I can't remember which video, this is one of my favorite ribbons because it's really, really versatile and you can easily color it. But here I just want to keep it as white. So just be really gentle when you're pulling your ribbon in, because you don't want to break these pieces here. I'm tying it in a knot because that will then hold that closed and hold it nice and firmly. And then I'm tying a bow, and I probably should have made that a little bit longer. If you have trouble tying bows or trouble with your fingers, make the ribbon a little bit longer, maybe 30 centimeters for each end, because you can always cut off the excess. I've probably been a bit of the Christmas Grinch, not wasting my ribbon. Okay, that's one end. And then for the Ferrero Rocher, 1, 2. As I said, I made the cracker, the bonbon, just the perfect size to fit 2 in. If you want to fit 3 in, probably add another 5 centimeters to the length of the bonbon. Pull that very, very gently to pull it in, tie it in a knot, and then if my fingers want to work, tie it into a little bow. And I'm just pulling that bow out, put little tags in and out to make it nice and tight. And there is my Christmas cracker or Christmas bonbon. And as I mentioned with the one that I've showed you first off. Put a little tag on, whether you put a little Christmas message or whether you want them as a place setting, entirely up to you. And I've used the tiny little tag from our Tailored Tags dies. Just another quick and simple little idea leading up to Christmas. I hope you like this video, have fun, and stay tuned for tomorrow's day 4, 12 days of Craftmas. Thanks for watching.